Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we're gonna let it away. Tonight, we're gonna let it away. Tonight, we're gonna let it away. Just like the sunrise, we're gonna let it away. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we're gonna let it away. Tonight, we're gonna let it away. Tonight, we're gonna let it away. Just like the sunrise, we're gonna let it away.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, hi, hello, welcome. If you're not new, hi, hello, and welcome to you guys too. But if you are new to the channel, my name is Tanya or TitaniumBuilt. You can call me either or. And thank you guys for joining me tonight. I appreciate it so much. We're going to talk a little bit of Idaho 4 and just kind of have a relaxed, kind of chilled live. So hopefully that's what you're into. If it is what you're into, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you guys don't mind taking a second, I know I'm a pain in the ass, but hit the like button for me. It does send it out into the algorithm right away. And then that way people will see it out there and then they'll click on it and they'll come in and they'll chat with you guys live. So it's kind of a win-win for you and it's a win for me. So if you guys don't mind, but you guys are usually very, very good at that. So I don't even know why I ask you guys really. Because you guys are always on it. You're always on it. But welcome in, everybody. I see everybody in here. Welcome into the mods, Ladybug and Mary Beth. Thank you for being here tonight. I appreciate it so much. It's good to see everybody. We will get right into it. And I am redoing the studio. So, oh, thanks, Cyber Warrior. Appreciate that. I got it off of Amazon, actually. We're redoing the studio. So I have like my chair is in the middle right here. I don't know if I'm going to keep it here, but I might. I don't know. I don't know what's going on yet. We don't know what's going on. I had like 51 things in my cart, in my Amazon cart today. I had like $4,000 worth of stuff in there, but I had like multiple things because I liked multiple things so that there was like choices. And I gave the phone to Vincent. When he handed it back to me, there was like 7 things. And I was like, oh, wow, you really cut that down because I asked him to. But then he added some more stuff. So we're just trying to get a feel of what we want to do in here. So if you have any recommendations, let me know. Let me know. And hopefully you'll be able to see me a little better and everything once we get like the other lights and stuff in too, which if this light was probably like pointed towards me, it probably would help. So welcome in. Hey, Zaza. I like that name. That's a really cool picture. Well, welcome in, everybody. So there was a new document that came out Sunday in Idaho. And I was like, oh, wow. It wasn't anything huge, but it was a little bit of something. I mean, it gave us something that I didn't know before. If you guys remember this, if this is something that, was like out in the ether and before, let me know. But I think that this is them telling them like, hey, this is who we're using. And this is the first time I've really heard this. So it is the state of Ohio, I'm from Ohio, state of Idaho versus Bryan Kohberger. This is going to be the state's, their motion right here, or their letter right here, because it's in pink. So anytime you see anything in pink, it's going to be from the prosecution. So it says, comes now the state of Idaho by and through Ashley Jennings, Latah County Senior Deputy Prosecutor, and hereby gives notice pursuant to Idaho Rule of Evidence 404B2. The state of Idaho intends to present evidence of crimes, wrongs, or other acts. Specifically, this is what they're going to show. Video of a traffic stop occurring at West Pullman Road / Farm Road in Moscow, Idaho. We should look that up. On August 21st, 2022, involving Bryan Kohberger and Latah County Sheriff's Office Corporal Darren Duke. Don't know who that is because he was pulled over before, but that was a woman that pulled him over. And that was in October, he was pulled over by her. So same year in August, he was pulled over apparently by this Darren Duke guy. He did get a citation. There's a citation number, and it said issued regarding the same traffic stop. It says discovered as Bates, and then it gives the number. The state intends to introduce this evidence for the purpose of proving defendant's identity, vehicle, address, and phone number. This issue has been previously addressed by the court in the December 15th, 2023 sealed order denying motion to dismiss indictment on grounds of biased grand jury, inadmissible evidence, lack of sufficient evidence, and prosecutorial misconduct. And I remember that document because I had to read that like 50 million times. Respectfully, Ashley Jennings. So little bits, it's trickling out, I guess, Did you write them, Kiwi mate? I thought about it. I ain't gonna lie, I thought about it. Hey, True Crime Lullabies. I was thinking of you earlier today. I was drinking out of my circle. I hope they don't surprise. I hope that Zaza, I hope they bring out some more of the stuff. I mean, they're kind of like, it's trickling out now. I mean, before it was like the faucet was not on. It was not going to be on. It was tight. Like couldn't get that thing on with a wrench. Now it's like we're having like a slow leak, we're getting like stuff because Judge Hippler, I think, is going to put a lot more stuff out there than Judge was allowing, and which I'm down for that. I'm totally down for that. So I thought that we would go over, in our last live, we talked about Bryan Kohberger and his survey that he did, that he put on. I thought that we would go through that. So it's his suspect crime survey. And these questions are from the crime research study that he conducted that was conducted by Bryan Kohberger. And I figured we would go through it. Now I couldn't find the one where it was like, the actual questions were like in the little blue boxes. So this one's on Reddit and it's just like written, but it gives us all the details that the other one would give us. So I wish I would have saved that, but I didn't. I don't think I saved it. We should listen to these people. We should go to this person's theory afterwards just to see what they say. Oh, and the video that I posted on the video short and I showed you guys last night, and I said I hadn't seen that video before, the one in Idaho. I have it in the pictures that I have. Like I got all these photos and videos, and I didn't realize that there was videos in the photos as well. So we'll have to go through that. I was like, oh wow, there's a there was like stuff in here I didn't even know that was in here. So I like this judge too. He's a no nonsense. He's a no nonsense kind of guy, you know? And I like that. So this is the survey. It was a crime research study, and where Bryan Kohberger asked specific questions related to a crime, like, you know, and how you would get away with a crime. What would you do? The steps you would take in order to try to get away with that crime. So it says, please note that the following survey asks you to detail your most recent criminal offense, whether you were caught or not. In the event that you are not charged, convicted, or incarcerated for the offense, you may still participate in this research. Welcome to the research study! Exclamation point. Oh gosh, what the hell is that? Something on my glasses is really bad. See if I can get it off really quick. If not, we'll go in blind. That might be a little better. We are interested in understanding how emotions and psychological traits influence the decision making involved in committing a crime. After completing a series of background questions, you'll be presented with high or open-ended questions relevant to the most recent crime you are involved in, and asked to detail your thoughts, emotions, and actions from the beginning to end of the criminal commission process. In order to best understand your unique psychological traits, surveys will be included after the open-ended section. Please be assured that your responses will be kept completely confidential. The study should take you around 15 to 20 minutes to complete. Your participation in this research is voluntary. You have the right to withdraw at any point during the study for any reason or without any prejudice. If you have any questions about the research, you may contact the research team via email at Bryan Kohberger, or you email Bryan Kohberger. He's the student investigator. There's his email, Jeff Clutter, co-principal investigator, and Michelle Bolger, principal investigator. By clicking the button below, you acknowledge that your participation in the study is voluntary, you're 18 years of age, and that you are aware that you may choose to terminate your participation in the study at any time for any reason. Please note that the survey will be best displayed on a laptop or desktop computer. Some features may be less compatible for use on mobile devices. I mean, I guess I could be, but do you think he was trying to like maybe get like people's IP addresses or something that this way? I don't know. I'm conspiratorial now right now. Mary Beth, oh my goodness. 20 memberships. Thank you so much. That's a lot of memberships. Welcome in, everybody. You're gonna get them shaking them bushes. People are gonna be coming out. We don't even know. Thank you so much. That's so incredibly kind. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Thank you. So it says here, by clicking the button below, hold on one second. My dog's doing her Chewbacca sound. Come on, come on, come on, Chewy. Here, come on, Chewy. Lay on this bed right here. Hey, come on, that one right there. And it's close. It's going to be close to her. Every night. It's every night. I'm so sorry, guys. One of these days we'll get our crap together. I'm going to get them some new beds. I think maybe that'll make them happy. I don't know. So here it says, please note that the survey will be best displayed. I already read that, sorry. And then it says, I consent, begin the study. And it says, I do not consent. I do not wish to participate. So those are the two options that come up. And the first question is, what is your age? Second, what is your gender identity? Hold on one second. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to get her in. I'm going to grab her and get this. I think I'm going to, I think there's a pillow in her way. Is there a pillow in your way? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. There you go. Right here. Hey, right here. Good. There you go. You good? Okay. Oh, there she is. Oh, she's so good now. She's so good. She's so good. Okay, sorry about that. Mary Beth, you just gifted out 5 more. Oh my gosh. Everybody's going to be a member tonight. Thank you. Ladybug. I love it whenever it's people that hate your channel and then they come up and it's like they get gifted a membership. That makes me laugh. And it's like, haha, gotcha. Can you guys see the screen okay? I always feel like it looks blurry. So let me know if you have if you can't see it. And if you can't see it, I'll try to zoom in a little bit. I got this new computer and I have to move this to do it, but I can do it. So it says, what is your gender identity? And the choices are male, female, non-binary / third gender. I never heard it called third gender, but and then prefer not to say. What sex were you assigned at birth? Are you Spanish, Hispanic, or Latino origin? Choose one or more races that you consider yourself to be. What is the highest level of education that you have completed? Have you ever been incarcerated? What age were you when you committed your most recent crime? Which category best represents your most recent crime? And it says property offenses, violent offense, drug offense, other. Were you convicted of your most recent crime? Did you commit the crime alone? And these are all like yes and no answers. So at the time of the crime, please indicate the following. Were you employed? Were you under the influence of drugs or alcohol? Were you experiencing issues with your family? Were you affiliated with a gang? Was this your first offense? Did you struggle with or fight the victim? The following open-ended questions provide you with a chance to anonymously detail your experience committing the most recent criminal offense. Any important action, emotions, or thoughts should be thoroughly detailed. So then it goes to number 13. How was your life before the crime occurred? This is pretty personal stuff, you know. Did you prepare for the crime before leaving your home? Please detail what you were thinking and feeling at this point. How did you travel to and enter the location that the crime occurred? After arriving, what steps did you take prior to locating the victim or target? Please detail your thoughts and feelings. This almost seems like if he got the answers to these questions, you know what I mean, and he was really wanting to unalive somebody, maybe this could have held him off, hearing about other people's crimes, in such detail like this, to where maybe, it just kind of held him off from committing a crime. But maybe these started getting to where they weren't enough. I don't know, because this is pretty detailed. What did you choose, that victim or target over others? Why? I'm sorry. He said, why? Why did you choose that victim or target over others? Oh, sorry. After arriving, what steps did you take prior to locating the victim or target? Please detail your thoughts and feelings. So it says, after arriving, what steps did you take prior to locating the victim? Okay. Before making your move, how did you approach the victim or target? Please detail what you were thinking and feeling. What was the first move you made in order to accomplish your goal? Please detail any thoughts and feelings at this point. How did you accomplish your goal? Please explain what you were thinking and feeling. Before leaving, is there anything else you did? Number 22 is, how did you leave the scene? 23, after committing the crime, what were you thinking and feeling? What And then it says, what follows are surveys that are important to understanding your unique traits. So then it goes, down to these. Yeah, I think that it was the rush of hearing other people. But then maybe it just wasn't enough for him anymore, Because this, if this was sent to somebody that, and he, I mean, that, I don't a murderer, like a serial killer, let's say, this would be like gold for them to hear about someone else's crime. I feel like, do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like they would get off on that. And allegedly, Bryan Kohberger's allegedly, he's on trial for it. And you know what? I said allegedly last night, like all night last night, and all that good stuff because he's allegedly he's on trial, and I used to never say allegedly. And my comment section was on fire today, y'all. So people that if I don't say allegedly, that's because I forgot, and I don't feel like I should say allegedly. So all the time. So number 24, over the past 2 weeks, how often have you been bothered by any of the following problems? Oh, what problem? I can give you all mine. Just kidding. Oh, feeling nervous, anxious, or on edge. Not being able to stop or control worrying. Worrying too much about different things. Trouble relaxing. Being so restless that it's hard to sit still. Becoming easily annoyed or irritable. Feeling afraid as if something awful might happen. Do you feel those things? Not at all. Several days, more than half the days, nearly every day. Over the past 2 weeks, how often have you been bothered by the following problems? Little interest or pleasure in doing things, feeling down, depressed, or hopeless, trouble falling or staying asleep or sleeping too much, feeling tired or having little energy, poor appetite or overeating, feeling bad about yourself or that you are a failure or have let yourself or your family down, trouble concentrating on things such as reading the newspaper or watching television, moving or speaking so slowly that other people could have noticed, or the opposite, being so fidgety or restless that you have been moving around a lot more than usual, thoughts that you would be better off dead or of hurting yourself. I swear I've had this same test done at the freaking counselor or something. This sounds familiar. And I would never hurt myself or anyone else. Let me take that back. I would never hurt myself. Instructions in this questionnaire, you will read about 5 situations that people could encounter in day-to-day life, followed by reactions to those situations. As you read each scenario, try to imagine yourself in that situation. Then indicate the likelihood that you would react in the way described. So number 26 is what we're on. It says, please answer as accurately as possible. Number 1, after realizing you have received too much change at a store, you decide to keep it because the sales clerk doesn't notice. What is the likelihood that you would feel uncomfortable about keeping the money? I would feel weird. Number 2, you secretly commit a felony. Secretly? Okay. What is the likelihood that you would feel remorse about breaking the law? Number 3, at a coworker's housewarming party, you spill red wine on their new cream-colored carpet. You cover the stain with a chair so that nobody notices your mess. What is the likelihood that you would feel that the way you acted was pathetic? That's weird to put it like that. What is the likelihood that the way you would that you would feel that way you acted was pathetic? Pathetic is a weird word to use. I would say misguided or dishonest. That you know what I mean, that you acted dishonestly. But I wouldn't use the word pathetic. He must not like no red wine on the carpet. That's the OCD kicking in right there. You lie to people, but you never find out about it. Oh, but they never. Okay. You lie to people, but they never find out about it. What is the likelihood that you would feel terrible about the lies you told? Number 5. Out of frustration, you break the photocopier at work. Nobody is around and you leave without telling anyone. What is the likelihood you would feel bad about the way you acted? And you were to answer these like extremely likely, unlikely, about 50% likely, likely, or extremely likely. So please read each statement below carefully and rate how frequently you feel or act in the manner described. Circle your answer on the response form. There are no right or wrong answers or trick questions. Please answer each question as honestly as you can. Please indicate how much each statement reflects how you typically feel. Number 1, when someone else is feeling excited, I tend to get excited too. Number 2, other people's misfortunes do not disturb me a great deal. 3, it upsets me to see someone being treated disrespectfully. 4, I remain unaffected when someone close to me is happy. 5, I enjoy making other people feel better. 6, I have tender, concerned feelings for people less fortunate than me. Number 7, when a friend starts to talk about his or her problems, I try to steer the conversation towards something else. 8, I can tell when others are sad even when they do not say anything. 9, I find that I am in tune with other people's moods. 10, I do not feel sympathy for people who cause their own serious illnesses. Number 11, I become irritated when someone cries. 12, I am not really interested in how other people feel. 13, I get a strong urge to help people when I see someone who is upset. 14, when I see someone treated unfairly, I do not feel very much pity for them. 15, I find it silly for people to cry out of happiness. 16, when I see someone being taken advantage of, I feel kind of protective towards him or her. And the options are never, rarely, sometimes, and often. Man, he wants to know a lot. Yeah, this is real personal. Yeah, welcome in new members. Thank you so much, Mary Beth. That was so kind. That was so, so kind. 25 new members. Wow. That's a lot of new members. We got to do members only live. Yeah, we do actually. Well, about to do one tonight. I got things to say. I had something actually earlier I was going to talk to you guys about. Forget. I'll remember though. Okay, so a number of statements that people use to describe themselves are given below. Read each statement and then fill in the column for the number which indicates how you generally feel. Remember, there are no right or wrong answers. Do not spend too much time on one statement, but give the answer which seems to best describe how you generally feel. How I generally feel. 1, I am quick-tempered. 2, I have a fiery temper. 3, I am a hot-headed person. 4, I get angry when I'm slowed down by others' mistakes. 5, I feel annoyed when I am not given recognition for doing good work. 6, I fly off the handle. 7, when I get mad, I say nasty things. 8, it makes me furious when I'm criticized in front of others. Ooh, I could see that making him mad. 9, when I get frustrated, I feel like hitting someone. 10, I feel infuriated when I do a good job and get a poor evaluation. And the options for those are, almost never, sometimes, often, almost always. Okay. So then on a scale to 1 to 5, please indicate how much you agree with each statement. Number 1, I am good at resisting temptation. He really had this is a long survey. We're almost done with it now. This is the last question, I believe. So number 1, I am good at resisting temptation. 2, I have a hard time breaking bad habits. 3, I am lazy. 4, I say inappropriate things. 5, I do certain things that are bad for me if they are fun. 6, I refuse things that are bad for me. 7, I wish I had more self-discipline. 8, people would say I am I have an iron self-discipline. 9, pleasure and fun sometimes keeps me from getting work done. 10, I have trouble concentrating. 11, I am able to work effectively towards long-term goals. 12, sometimes I can't stop myself from doing something even if I know it's wrong. 13, I often act without thinking through all the alternatives. Now, I think he thought a lot. I think he thought all the way through. I think he was like a Rex Heuermann, and he probably had a list like Rex Heuermann on what to do, what not to do. And maybe he got rid of that list with the rest of the stuff. Maybe in the Snake River. Maybe buried it somewhere. I don't know. But it's somewhere. It's somewhere. Maybe burn it all. I don't know. But where would you burn it? So the options are 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5. Very much. Okay. So we thank you for your time spent taking this survey. Your response has been recorded. Yeah. That's a lot. This was the survey that he, posted on Reddit. Hey, Aries. Did you change your name again? How do you keep changing your name? I thought you could only change it so many times. Let me come back over so I can read the chat. I was over there on the other side. You know, I can't believe we're actually in the year of Bryan Kohberger going on trial. And we're in February. My voice is cracked. We're in February, guys. Like March, April, May, June, July. 5 months. The end of July is going to be jury selection. We'll say 6 months. And then just think about it, though. 2 of those months, almost 3, right, are going to be like summer. So we're going to just be out doing our thing, like doing our thing with our families, our friends, or by ourselves or whatever. If you're by yourself, come over. We'll hang out by the pool. You can come here. We'll cook out on the grill. We have like grills, like 2 huge grills, like that are in the stone. Oh, sorry. And like these like big stone pits. We'll just come and hang. Call first. I'm just kidding. Call first. But yeah, no, I mean, so like, just we'll have fun during the summer. We won't think about nothing with Bryan Kohberger other than just, getting prepared for his trial. We'll do things, I'm sure, to get prepared for it. And then hopefully he'll go on trial this year. He better. He really better. Because we've been waiting a long time. Not we, but the family's been waiting a long time. Actually, let me look something up really quick before we go to the video. The video, we're going to watch another video like we watched last night off Fox Nation. And this one's going to be a digital secrets. I was going to see. Oh, okay. So yesterday, the Goncalves family, I like to go on their Facebook page just to kind of see what they're thinking, what's going on. And they said, I'm a nervous wreck waiting for the judge to make a decision on the IGG and Frank's, Oh, man. Let's see. I think that's really it. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure. All right. So we're going to listen to this. It's like 26 minutes long. It's not too long. And thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. Hey, Yvonne, welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. It's good to see you guys. I did pin the StreamYard link if anybody wants to come up and talk. Bryan Kohberger, I can pause the video whenever, here and there, and we could talk through it. No problem. I do have the sound on, so it should like ring a little bell so I can hear it if I'm on another page too. If you do want to come up on to the panel, just whenever you hit the StreamYard link, just go ahead and exit out of YouTube. That way there's no echo. And you don't have to be on camera, just as long as you just come up on camera on backstage where nobody can see you but me. That way I know it's you and not somebody that's in the nude trying to take down my video. That's what they like to do to people. So, yeah. But anyways, let's go ahead and we'll get into this and then we'll see where we're at the end of this episode. It's actually, there's like more. Okay. more videos we could watch. And remember, this is going to be back from like, a little while ago. This one actually isn't too far like back. This one's actually March 18th of 2024.
4 victims.
Police in Idaho are investigating the deaths of 4 University of Idaho students. Their bodies discovered in an off-campus home, what's being called a crime of passion.
A suspect in custody.
New details around an arrest in the brutal University of Idaho quadruple murder. The suspect is 28-year-old Bryan Kohberger. He studied criminology at a university near the murders.
But what was their connection?
He's on social media, he's looking at the victims.
Every time they're doing videos, was he present? How many burner accounts did this person have?
Social media is designed for people to look at each other.
This is the new singles bar. This is the new Applebee's on Friday night, but you don't know who you're talking to.
Social media is the new psych ward. Personality disordered people flock together on all of these platforms. They thrive.
These people are dropping breadcrumbs. We like to flip their worlds upside down.
This is going to be the social media murders.
For criminals, the digital world offers anonymity and a space for dark ideas to flourish. It's a place to connect with like-minded individuals and learn how to commit the perfect crime. Some use it to find their prey. Others use it to stalk individuals they already know, but not well enough. In this special, we're going to investigate suspected murderer Bryan Kohberger and the online connections he developed with the 4 victims. Kaylee Gonsalves, Maddie Mogan, Ethan Chapin, and Xana Kernodle. We'll offer insight into his social media accounts, cryptic Reddit posts, an alleged research survey, and discuss the impact they'll have during the trial. We'll also explore how much of a role technology has on violent crime. Is it a tool to help criminals or a means for them to get caught? Well, of course, we're going to talk about the Moscow murders, but there's a unique area that we're going to cover now, and that is social media. With me is a social media expert, Chris Ruby, Paul Murrow, retired Inspector NYPD, and Lenny DePaul, retired United States Marshal. Thanks, everybody, for being here. So we know that really, of the 4 victims, Maddie and Kaylee were really the most active. They're on all these different websites, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. So if they're throwing their images out there, and then you have suspects that don't know them at all, but they see something that keys into their obsession, their desire, their passion, their anger, whatever it is, we no longer have to have that one-on-one contact.
You said if they don't know him, what if they do know him? I think they'd be all over him like a cheap suit. I believe these platforms were public, right?
They were not password protected, and I can tell you that because I went on it. Kaylee's TikTok gave you a pretty good insight into what life was like in that house.
That's 9:10. Guys, can anybody drive me to class? I'm fucking late for my meeting. I'm supposed to be there 10 minutes ago. Did anybody do their chores today? Fuck, I'm just gonna do it. Oh, shit, you guys. It's 8. Gotta go.
Social media really allows for a new level of digital voyeurism behavior in general.
I mean, how many people are just watching others on
Hey,
social
Reba.
media?
And it's not always just your friends.
These girls appeared to not necessarily be social media influencers, but then again, who isn't a social media influencer these days, right? Who is putting their entire life out there and racking up likes.
One of the videos shows all of the girls in the second floor area, which kitchen area, there's 2 bedrooms up there, etc. What you also see, though, is the sliding doors that lead out to the back. And some of the theories about the case argue that there was an opportunistic aspect of it because of how well the house was situated.
If you're doing videos of your house, you're broadcasting to everyone. This is exactly what my house looks like. Here's a map of the house. And that information can be really dangerous if used in the wrong hands.
Kaylee actually told fellow students that she was being physically stalked as well as being contacted online.
That's right. And it was one instance where somebody was following her to a car, apparently.
Yes, at the grocery store. We just don't know it's Bryan Kohberger.
No, we do. It wasn't. The guys that were following her in the supermarket parking lot, they tracked them gentlemen down and they were just trying to flirt with her. Wasn't Bryan Kohberger though.
A classmate of Kohberger.
Well, that actually I don't know because they never said the names of the guys. I mean, so it could be Bryan Kohberger. We would find that out at trial. That would be something. That would be something.
At Washington State describes him as, quote, confident and outgoing, but super awkward and always trying to fit in and show others how much he knew about criminology.
Does it surprise any of you that there's been not one female that has said she's had a relationship with Bryan Kohberger? So where does that fit into the social media?
I think that people who are rejected in the real world dominate and win on social media. There's a crossover with online predatory behavior, with online trolling, and I think that they take out their anger and rage on new victims.
Well, they describe Bryan Kohberger as an incel. All of a sudden, the word incel now became a violent person, but that's not the definition. It's just somebody that they are basically celibate.
Not having a relationship with a human being. They may have relationships with technology.
What do you think Kohberger is seeing when he's online? Now, let's just try to be him for a minute.
He jumps in with 2 feet. He's on social media. He's looking at the victims.
As the investigation moves forward, there is also a new report that Kohberger repeatedly sent direct messages or DMs to one of the female victims through Instagram 2 weeks before the murders that appeared not to have been opened, according to People magazine.
Social media by its nature.
Well, if that was in like a different file or folder, say that is true, they might not even know they got it. I know that happens to me. That happened. I mean, I'm sure that there's messages, in my folder right now, like it's a separate folder that if you're not like following the person or if they're not following you, it'll go into that separate folder.
Is look at me, right? If he even communicated with them, it comes down to what you're going to characterize as stalking.
I would love to see if he watched their Instagram stories. Do we know that?
Well, I think the police know, but I think that they're not saying.
Well, we need to see a clear pattern of evidence that it was unwanted contact, right? And so one of the things I saw in this case, at least with Instagram, is that apparently the messages went to an other folder, so they were possibly never seen or read. But I would like to know if at any point there was a communication where someone said, stop contacting me.
There's indications Kaylee's father, Steve, had some knowledge of that, but they shut him down and they didn't want him to talk. One of the hallmarks of social media is gaining access to someone else's life. But just how much can you learn from the pictures and videos? Does somebody like Kohberger, do they actually think they know the people?
Yes. 100%. This is their entire life, especially if they're not social, if they're not having dates. Their entire world is online. A lot of times they're not really leaving the house other than to maybe get groceries or to go to school or to work. All of their social interaction is on social media. And that's where they derive power from.
But sometimes the line between online and the real world begins to blur. In the weeks before the attack, Kohberger's cell phone pinged near the house 12 times. According to the reports, he came so close he was even able to connect to the victim's Wi-Fi.
So he knows from looking at the house and in the TikTok video that, okay, there are sliding glass doors that allow access to that house. And if he goes and looks at that house, he's going to see, wow, I can watch them from this little bit of a rise. TikTok only helped him get to that point.
That's how he makes entry. Yeah, no, it's a good point. Yeah.
Do you think that those 12 times that he's actually at King Road, do you think that he is engaged in their social communication at that moment while he's watching them? Would that be a thrill for somebody like this?
Define thrill. What do you mean by
Well, I think everything is an escalation. You don't go from, I can't get a date, to murdering 4 people. So there's got to be an arc.
So the thrill would be some communication or contact. That's what I'm not seeing.
Or rejection?
I believe that he would have needed something to trigger him, where he got angry and was filled with rage.
We know that he went into the restaurant where Maddie and Xana worked on at least one occasion.
I have not seen anyone say that they knew he existed.
Well, you don't need to see him talking. It's them talking to each other. Hey, what about this nut that showed up at the restaurant tonight? If there was some sort of conversation, she wants tips, she's going to be nice, right?
The girls had other men around them in their lives. So in his eyes, every man existed except for him. And I think that could fill someone with complete rage.
So you don't think he had an ongoing social media conversation with them?
He could have, but have we seen that?
The stuff that you're talking about wouldn't necessarily be visible to us right now.
With the ongoing gag order in the case, investigators have not responded for comment.
Although it's unknown how many times
Actually, hold
Kohberger
on.
crossed
It wasn't all of them. Maybe not all of them.
paths with the victims the night of the crime. He could have been tracking their locations without ever having to leave his apartment in Pullman, Washington. So, Chris, there's a thing called geotagging. Can you explain this, and how would this benefit a stalker or a suspect?
Sure. So geotagging is the practice of tagging your location on a social media platform.
Yeah.
Like on Instagram, you can just scroll up, click location, and tag the exact building, location, area that you're in. And so if you're doing 10 different stories a day on Instagram, every time you're going to a new location, you could be tagging that location. That's incredibly dangerous because you're broadcasting, here's where I am, here's what I'm doing, and here's who I'm doing it with.
Kids are so open about where they go to school, where they hang out after school, where they live, what their room looks like, what their house looks like, what apps they're on, etc. And if you did have malign intent, you've got the keys.
That's a good question. I totally forgot, so I looked up the pictures on it because I have a bunch of pictures. I've got like like 300 pictures or something. So this is the driveway. Blue car was Xana's. The Range Rover was Kaylee's. The Jeep was Ethan's. I'm not sure who the white car belongs to now because it's been so long. Does anybody remember? Because I cannot remember to save my life. Well, I don't even think they let them take their cars. Like they didn't, they didn't let, I was thinking it's either Bethany or Dylan's, but I can't remember. We'll have to figure that out. That's so crazy that I can't remember that. I know I have it probably written down somewhere, but I haven't really looked at this picture in a while to because I think that even like on the Honda, it had like an Arizona license plate. That's how we kind of figured out it was Xana's. Bethany Citizen Suicide? Okay. I couldn't remember. Thank you guys. She may have, I don't know. I know that the other girl that they were trying to bring into this mess did. The one that was with Demetrius. Remember her? So it might be her that you're thinking of. She got a DUI. It was on camera. Okay. Bailey, yeah. Thank you. I couldn't think of her name. I'm like, I couldn't remember Demetrius, but I couldn't remember her name. Okay, we'll go back to this and we'll watch this.
to the kingdom.
Engaging at all and letting anybody know
Emma
anything about
Bailey,
your
that's
house,
what it was.
your habits, your conduct, your work, your schedule is just an opening to be stalked, burglarized, raped, or murdered.
See, that's why it's good to go over this stuff again. Because, I mean, we went over this very hard. Like, very hard. We've done over 300, 400 videos on this case. So it's not like we don't know the case. It's just we cover so many other cases on the channel, you know. We have, like, when we go back, I remember things again, or I'll hear new things that I didn't hear before.
From that perspective, I would just echo what they're saying, but from a fugitive investigator's point of view, keep putting it out there.
What has Kohberger shared about his own life online? What sites does he frequent? What types of accounts does he follow?
What's his behavioral aspect on social media? How's he talking to people? What's he saying, right?
What
Victims.
time, too?
Times are important.
Is he up at 4 in the morning on social media sites?
And then there are the other apps that the prosecutors have dropped legal process on that they must have some indication he was active on. Tinder, Twitter, Dropbox, Yik Yak, Reddit, Facebook, TikTok. An interesting one to me is this Strava one. Strava is an exercise app. Strava also has a GPS element to it.
During the afternoon of November 13th, 2022, just hours after the murders, Kohberger drove 84 miles to Johnson, Idaho, which buds up against the Nez Perce National Forest. Cell phone towers can place a user in general vicinity, but they can't pinpoint a specific location.
Some of those zones are 20 miles square, but a GPS can be a meter.
Could the GPS coordinates from Strava give authorities more insight into the exact locations he visited?
Johnson, Idaho.
I haven't downloaded that app.
There's quarries up there. That means water. We don't have the knife. We don't have the bloody clothing. He didn't even have.
I think that's where he put it. I really do.
A shower curtain in the Washington
Like-
apartment. There's a lot of evidence missing that would have to be there.
I mean, there's a lot of water.
There's been indications that after the murders, he was actually engaging online.
Oh, that's a Yvonne. I never thought about that. When did she say that she heard them going up and down? I wonder. Because remember, she said she thought it was Kaylee. But I wonder when it was. Because I always thought that latent like shoe print may have been like, or just in general, I thought maybe he went back up to the third floor, not out. Like he wasn't going to go out the slider. But I think that maybe he was going to go back up to the third floor to grab the sheath. And that's maybe when he saw Bethany and he decided to like divert from that. And then I still think he went out the front door though.
Correcting people. What kind of a personality would actually engage after you got away from the scene?
A narcissist.
He was involved in this Reddit account where he was putting out, for lack of a better term, disinformation. He's telling people, no, I don't think it happened at that time of the day. No, they're looking at the wrong type of guy, etc. And it looks very clear that he was trying to shade interest off of anything that could lead to him.
Although law enforcement has not been able to verify the validity of the specific posts, this wouldn't be the first time Kohberger has taken to the social media site to discuss violent crime. In May of 2022, only 6 months before the murders, Kohberger asked criminals to complete an anonymous online survey on Reddit about how and why they break the law. I interviewed somebody that does this and has interviewed 32,000 criminals. He goes, I wouldn't ask half these questions. What was it about this crime survey that just stood out to you that
Pathetic.
this is odd,
That
it
did.
doesn't fit?
Right away, the thing that stands out to me was the timing. This was released apparently in May of 2022, and then the person graduates in June. It was just a flashing red flag there.
Kohberger's approach for gathering data also raised eyebrows.
If you think about the research process, usually has to go through an ethics review board, and that can take weeks, sometimes months. And survey online is a methodology that we use, but it's not one of those that you're going to post and then 100 people are going to come and answer the day after, right? It's a slow process.
Somewhere in the June area, he is reportedly buying a K-bar knife online. And now he has this survey that's active. Is it your opinion that this survey is more personal and or entertainment than it is useful schoolwork?
It does look like it was posted through pretty bona fide software that we use for survey methodology. It has the institutional logo on it. It looks very official, but I would say that's my opinion that it wasn't used for his master's research.
There's a few questions that kind of jump out at me. You're doing a survey to talk to convicted criminals or people that got away with a crime, but he's saying things that have to do with the planning and execution of the crime, which to me are a little odd. When did you first make contact? When did you see them? How did you get inside? It speaks of somebody almost trying to have somebody either educate them or excite him.
I was curious as well about those questions, and just for the sake of scientific inquiry, I try to imagine, is there any scenario in which I would be asking those questions? And I couldn't really come up with a reason.
Kohberger is actually fantasizing about the crime he commits. He wants to be reinforced that these people are out there that haven't been caught doing his survey, and reinforce that I can commit this crime and then I will not be caught.
And the thing about fantasy is not something that just comes out of nowhere, right? It's something that usually lives in the person's mind for a long time, and it takes different shapes and forms. When you're talking about personality traits, it's not something that you just see a shift when you're 28. You see a lot of those antisocial, narcissistic, borderline traits from a young age, and then they just really evolve over the years.
And on this survey, he's asking criminals, how you feel? Are you depressed? How do you feel after the crime, before the crime? Is he actually looking for a group of people that he can identify with? Because he certainly can't identify with mainstream America.
It could be an aspect of trying to normalize how one feels, right? Because if other people feel the same way, then I must be okay. It could even be a way of just finding that sense of community, because two brains are better than one. If they are interacting with other folks who have criminal thinking as well, they might feel less odd, and they also might find an opportunity to just bounce ideas back and forth.
Is this less about a survey to find out something intellectually about violators, or more a how to get away with something or actually execute something?
Yeah, because to me, these questions, they are for steps, right? That's what the questions are asking. So in a way, it's almost like, what is your recipe?
Even stranger, how would Kohberger know if the individuals responding to his questions were actually criminals? Wouldn't false data interfere with his research?
This is posted on social media. Who knows who's answering this, right? So in terms of rigor in research, is this really where I want to go to tap into the information?
You could get somebody that's 14 years old that's got a lot of good ideas because they've read and watched way too much TV, and so they throw an idea out. He might just be looking for great ideas that he can include in his plan that maybe he forgot or he didn't think of.
Is it something that it was a precursor to refine a plan? Was it something that served perhaps the idea of getting validation or connecting with others who think alike? Or maybe it's all of the above.
How did you get in? How did you find the victim? Did you go in a window? Did you go through a locked door? Did you use a pass key?
If that's only a criminology study, that would make sense to me if it stops there. But you're asking, how are people feeling? What were people thinking about when they decided to target? You're screening for depression, you're screening for mental illness, you're screening for personality traits. That is not something that we would normally do.
And most likely, not something an ethics board would even sign off on.
I don't think my ethics board would approve that survey because it doesn't have much clarity. And usually an ethics board, they'll be pretty picky about every single question. They want to see how that is reverting or coming back to the original intent of the study.
You've been highly informative about this whole survey, and asking you this may be unfair, but do you think that Kohberger will testify on his own behalf in this case?
I anticipate that yes.
Can somebody with his mental defect, because anybody that would commit a crime like this has a mental defect, can get up on the stand and effectively defend himself and convince a jury that he is, one, not crazy, and two, not the killer?
I don't necessarily think that someone to commit this type of crime needs to be mentally ill. I think it's important for us to separate mental illness from sadism and psychopathy. It's easier for us to cope in day-to-day society with the notion that only quote-unquote crazy or mentally ill people can do this when it could be your coworker or your classmate.
They're just waiting out to act what they've always felt.
Those who are the true, pure psychopath, there's no treating it.
So let's return to the Moscow murders. So Kohberger goes from being a rejected teenager to a 28-year-old graduate student. We didn't see how he actually graduated from being rejected to obsession. There's no killing of small animals. There's none of this stuff we see with serial killers. There's none of this conduct, prostitutes, hanging around certain areas. Then all of a sudden he acts.
I think we do see a course of conduct. It just may not involve killing an animal or prostitutes.
How many cases do you think where the social media is connected to a violent crime that are not pursued and prosecuted?
Thousands and thousands of cases. Clubhouse was a social audio app where people would connect in real time, almost like a live podcast. Twitter Spaces has the same feature too. Now, there were numerous times where users like myself reached out and said, there's stalking taking place. Someone is really going to get hurt. A woman and her husband were killed by a stalker, and it was connected to Clubhouse. And that was ignored. But that's because I don't think the actual stalking definition really adds up in a social media driven world, because a lot of times you don't have that violent threat. You need that violent threat in order for someone to pursue charges or take this seriously.
That's right. It even gets even murkier because, like, what is a threat? In some circuits, the metric is, does the person feel threatened? In other circuits, does it look like essentially a threat to a jury, a judge, et cetera?
Prosecutor's going to get out of bed to prosecute a case like that.
There's too much you can't attribute to a face. You're attributing them to a computer, and they can just simply say, somebody stole my computer, somebody stole my phone. When you have so much data being exchanged, how does law enforcement actually sift it out and find the suspect? It's 10 times worse than a needle in a haystack.
Generally, the leading aspect of the entire case comes out of the real world. Sure, some cases develop purely cyber, but the Kohberger paradigm is far more common, which is, we're looking at this person for various other reasons. As part of it, let's have a look at this person's social media.
They've got into his computer and they've broken that down, the hard drive. And I think he's probably reached out in the past to multiple females.
One of the things that's interesting in this case is when you look at the search warrants or subpoenas, you don't actually see one for OpenAI, which is fascinating. So I don't know if that means that ChatGPT wasn't actually used on his phone.
Explain really, where is the crossover between artificial intelligence?
People look at AI or ChatGPT almost as their therapist, but so much more than searching. This is the type of thing where if he was using AI, he could have been asking very detailed questions, much more so than we even see on Reddit. So we just don't know yet because that hasn't been explored.
So in kind of wrapping up, I can see the value social media has for law enforcement in two ways: to document somebody like Kohberger like when he became active, how he stalked people, how he identified people, and a clearinghouse for clues. Where are we going with social media?
You don't just have to be a convicted murderer for someone to psychologically profile you and everything that you're doing on social media. When you actually read through that long list of everything that they're requesting, most people don't really think about that when they are using all these devices. And granted, this is not going to happen to everyone, but if it does, you are documenting your life and putting it out there for anyone to take and use against you in a court of law. And I think that people really need to consider that before they broadcast their life online. What is the price of being a social media influencer?
Well, I think the case, it's going to actually set some standard for social media.
We talked about it in the first session that we did for Fox Nation, that a lot of this was going to happen in the digital world. And I think we even said this is going to be the social media murders.
Fox Nation is taking you behind the scenes of America.
I'm on mute. No, I was being really quiet. I was being really quiet for a minute. I did just talk, but I was being extremely quiet. I was looking on Twitter to see if there was anything. That's why I think I might have said that. Like, I'm on Twitter just to see what's going on over there. It's just a shit show. I thought about maybe doing a members live tonight because like I have time to do it, just like setting it up now. Or we can do one tomorrow. It's up to y'all, really. It's up to y'all. Tanya's so quiet tonight, I can't even hear. I was being so quiet as a mouse. Quiet as a little mouse. Oh, Reba, did you get those pillows sent out yet? Oh, my dog's just moving. Let me see where because there's some stuff I like wanted to talk to you guys about. I felt like. Let's see where Vincent is. We'll see where he is at. See how far away he is. Because he took a trip tonight, so like an hour and so away. So I'm just like, maybe we'll do like a members live. Because I don't have much to do anyway. Oh, that's okay. True crime lullabies. Go ahead. How do we mute Squeaky? You can't. You can't. We've tried. Hit my head so chiropractor 3 times a week. Oh my gosh. You had an accident in the bathroom. I thought you meant like, I didn't see the eye. I'm so sorry. I thought you meant like accident in the bathroom, like a pipe burst or something. That's what I thought you meant. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't even see the I had an accident part. I just saw the sorry had an accident in bathroom. You know what I mean? So I thought it was like, yeah, oh my gosh. I need to go to the chiropractor 3 times a week. My back's all junked up. Curves everywhere. And thank you, Mary Beth. Thank you for the other gifted 5 memberships. I don't know if you saw me in the chat. I didn't see them, I don't think. And thanks for all of them and the PayPal and everything tonight. You're amazing. Thank you so much. We love you around here. You're a very good person. And not just to me, you're good to the community that you live in. Oh no. What happened? Did you just fall in the bathtub? That's my fear. Like falling in the bathtub. I don't know why. I just, because I'm so unbalanced and I'll be dancing and stuff in there, doing stuff I shouldn't be doing in the shower. I told Vincent we need to get these little like remember those old school flowers from like the 70s like flowers. And they would put them in the bottom of people would put them in the bottom of their tub. I need those. Well, he hasn't run me back. Let's see. Let's see what's going on here. I was going to see if I could make a thumbnail while I was on here with you guys. None of these are very good, though. So does anybody have any nice weekend plans? Oh gosh, I hate people. Reba, I hate maintenance workers. They will do the smallest, the least bit. Like it won't even fix the problem. It's like polishing a turd. That's what I used to say around here. I used to, girl, don't even, yeah. Like I already know. And fell sitting down. You're going bowling, Mary Beth? I'd be aggravated too. I'll be suing them. I hate people. That's why I don't even call them up here. I tell them exactly what I want. Like, okay, for instance, I wanted new blinds because we had the same blinds for like 5 years and your girl didn't really clean them. Like I used to get in the bathtub and clean blinds, but then I didn't do it for a couple of years. And then they just got like just dirty looking, you know, like I was like, I don't even want to try to like clean those because why hurt my back when I can call, because every year they're supposed to give us something free, like a nice amenity for, you know, being here for another year. And we've been here 8 years and we've never, ever taken them up on their offer. We're like, we're cool. So when we do take them up on their offer, they end up coming and messing stuff up. But one time the maintenance guy came up and it was the older guy that we didn't want up here because he was like really mean, we thought. And he just retired. He was so kind. He came up here and not only did he fix my bath, but he put a new shower head on that was like huge compared to like my little small one. He put like a big one on. He's like, I went ahead and changed your shower head for you too. And I'm like, what? And you're leaving? Because it's hard to find. It's hard to find good maintenance people. So that's, I should say that not all of them are bad, but some of them, you know. Your husband does maintenance, true crime. Oh man. Supervisor over 3 properties. Oh, that's good. They're amazing, the tenants and employees. See, what I do is I'll put in a service order and I'll say, I want new blinds. I don't say my blinds are broke, which they weren't. Or you know what I mean? Like because they're just going to come up and give you a single blind or something, like, right? I say it whenever I need them for the back. If they start, like, the dogs will sometimes, 1 or 2, 3 will go. And if there's more than 2 that's gone, my OCD really kicks in. And so I got to get new blinds. Just in those, they can give me the slats. I don't care about that. Just those are fine. But I don't really ask for a lot. I try not to. What else have we asked for? Really nothing. Really nothing. I mean, we have hardwood floors all in through here. We took all the carpet like forever ago. They've never said anything to us. So we're like, we're cool. You sent him to school when he was 40 for HVAC and general contractor. That's awesome, though. My brother was a general contractor. He works for the union now, and he's up building the hospital. But his first few jobs were really funny. They weren't very good. He didn't really know what he was doing. He did, but he didn't. Really? Oh, Reba, no, I don't even get the filters from the apartment. Them things are like 70 cents a freaking filter. Like, I'm talking about them. I don't know if they give you the filters they give us, but the brown ones that like you can bend, you can just like bend it like and just break it. I'm like, don't even bring that near me. We have animals. So like, and there's just dust from, I guess, this apartment being old or something. So we buy ours, like we buy like a 3-pack at Lowe's, like the real, like, they're supposed to get rid of all the bad stuff, the impurities. Vincent's very obsessed with clean air. I've noticed we have like air purifiers like in each room and stuff. So because they change ours every 3 months or every 6 months. And what we do is we just put out our old one. And they just know, like, we don't want yours. I tell them, I'm like, I don't want that because it's not going to purify. The air is going to be like, it gets stuffy in here. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because we're upstairs, but it gets stuffy. It gets real stuffy. And like, we'll be opening windows in the winter. So we just ended up talking up on here. Yeah, you can always hide out here where you need to hide from here, Beth. Oh my gosh. I could use a massage. I have this thing. It's actually sitting right here beside me because I was going to use it earlier. Have you guys seen one of these? Vincent. I've never seen one of these in my life. Let me know if you guys have. Yeah, I am ready for the plot twist ending. Yes, that's how I am. Just breathe. Well, and I had reconstructive surgery on my whole right side of my face. And they put in like metal plates and they rerouted my nasal passages and stuff. So I'm just very like stuffy anyway. And so I think that's why Vincent buys better filters. I think he buys them for me. Looks painful. No, this thing is the best thing I've ever seen in my life. The toilet isn't fixed because I stated I was getting a lawyer. They are talking. So how many days is it going to be on the ground? Oh my gosh. Now they're not even going to fix the toilet. No one speaks to anyone. I would be like someone better. Then you just, that's pain and suffering or something. I don't know. Like if you don't have a bathroom, is it your only bathroom? So this is for your back. Vincent's mom, I guess, had one, or his dad or something. And it wasn't like as, I guess, like as much as this one, but it was something like it. And you just take it and you just like, I don't know, you just do this and you just rub your back with it, like the balls of it. Oh, I love this thing. This thing will fix your back in like 5 minutes. I am not even lying to you. It is the best thing. I love it. Reba's like, hell no. I love it. I love it so much. It's called Go Fit Muscle Hook. Yeah. Dreaming of blue skies and sandy beaches. Isn't this thing cool? His mom, I guess Vincent's mom has a smaller one. She's probably listening, or she'll be listening tomorrow. Oh, whoops. But I never saw one before, so I use it after I work out. Because I was on the treadmill today, y'all, for 85 minutes. I forget I'm on there. Yours is blue. Oh, I bet that's prettier color. This one, they only had the green one. I'm like, yeah, we're getting the green. Mhm. Oh my gosh, total sinus surgery. I hope you feel better now. I had the same. They drilled a hole through my nose so my tears would drain from my tear duct into my nose out my nostril. So real weird. So when I laugh really hard, and my eyes will get like teary, if they do, I have to like turn the camera off because it's usually with you guys I'm laughing that hard, or with Vincent, but like you guys make me laugh really hard. And so I'll have to turn the camera off and be like, I have to blow my nose, guys. Sorry. Like it's weird, but I have to do it. You can't use your bike because you pinched nerve in your back. Oh no. I bet the Peloton bike's fun. I have an app on my phone for my walking pad, and it like just like is this little like you're just like walking out in the desert, right? But there's other people walking with you. It's like a race. But my equipment only goes to 5.0 and other people's equipment goes higher. So they're like on actual treadmills or something. But I'm like, that's not a fair fight. Because I can't go any faster. Wow, you got me beat by 5 minutes. I gotta get my on mine for 5 more minutes then, Mary Beth. I did like 12,000 steps today for being inside. Like I was like, dang girl. Boswell. So I wanted to go over that tonight, and then no one really wanted to go over, so I didn't look too much in it. Let's see what's going on. I'll have to go over that tomorrow. I was gonna give it a couple days, see. I heard some stuff was going on though. Let's see. Oh, it says jury is dismissed for the day. Trial so legal issue can be resolved. An agent testified. I'll have to watch that tomorrow and then give you guys an update. Let's see. Let's see if this is. We'll read this real quick. It says, opening statements began Wednesday morning in the trial of a Sullivan County woman accused of killing her 15-month-old daughter. A sequestered jury of 12 with 2 alternates. Wow, that's not a lot. Including 8 men and 6 women will decide the fate of Megan Boswell. She is accused of murdering her child, Evelyn, and trying to cover up her death. The case gained statewide and nationwide attention in February 2020 when investigators began a weeks-long Amber Alert search for the toddler before finding her remains inside a trash can on family property. The jury will be sequestered for the duration of the trial. Jurors will be staying at a hotel with no cell phones. Wow. And limited television access. Not me. I would die. I wouldn't be able to do it. I wouldn't be able to do it. Thank you, Squeaky. I appreciate that. It took me like over 2 hours to do. And that wasn't even counting the music. That was just like the video part. Thank you. I appreciate that. Everyone was like, why didn't you use AI? And I was like, I don't know how. Plus, I didn't want it to be AI-ish. I'm not ready for that yet. So it says that jurors will be staying at a hotel with no cell phones, limited television access. NBC affiliate reported Judge Jim Goldwyn said it had been 15 to 20 years since a jury was sequestered in Sullivan County. Wow. Congratulations, Megan. Goodwill told the court the nature of the charges, the notoriety of the case, and the safety of the jury were the reasons he decided to isolate the jury for the duration of the trial. Boswell faces charges of felony murder, premeditated first-degree murder, aggravated child abuse, aggravated child neglect, tampering with evidence, abuse of a corpse, and multiple counts of false reporting in connection with the death of her toddler, Evelyn Boswell. Tennessee attorneys announced in December 2020 that they wouldn't seek the death penalty for Megan. There was an objection after the lunch break. The judge in the case is reviewing Boswell's interview with police following an objection to testimony from a Tennessee Bureau of Investigation witness in the case. The jury was sent to their hotel rooms while the judge reviewed the evidence. Wow, he sent them all the way to their hotels. He was probably like, you're going to be there for a while. After the lunch break, Boswell's attorney, Gene Scott, made an objection related to Deputy District Attorney William Harper's questioning of Tennessee Bureau of Investigation Senior Special Agent Bryan Fraley. Harper said he asked Fraley if Boswell admitted Evelyn was dead. Fraley answered the question by saying she did admit she was dead, among other things. The defense claimed this question, and the witness answer introduced Boswell's statement to the police into the court record. The defense cited the state rule of completion that says when a writing or recorded statement or part thereof is introduced by a party, an adverse party may require the introduction at that time of any other part or any other writing or recorded statement, which ought in fairness be considered contemporaneously with it. The court took a recess to give attorneys and the judge time to research case law. When they came back, the judge heard more arguments and decided to view the interview before making a ruling. The court will resume 8:30 a.m. on Thursday. Wow. We got more. Prosecution calls first witness. Fraley was called as the prosecution's first witness. He was called to investigate Evelyn's disappearance the day after the Amber Alert was issued. He eventually helped locate her body inside the playhouse on the Boswell's father's property. More than 35 graphic photographs were shown of how Evelyn's body was found. The courtroom was very quiet as Fraley described the photos in detail. He said Evelyn's body showed advanced stage decomposition, citing the age of insects found on the body and the bodily fluids found nearby. Boswell could be seen weeping in the courtroom. Bet you are. The defense's opening statements. Scott started his opening statement by saying the prosecution is right about a lot of things. There's not a person in this courtroom that wants to be discussing a dead child, Scott said. He told the jury they would hear a theory from the medical examiner as to how Evelyn died. The state doesn't know how the child died, and they can't prove how the child died, Scott said. That child. She has a name. It's Evelyn. Evelyn is her name. Not that child. I hate when people say those words, like that kid, or what if they said that about your child there, Scott? I bet you have children at home. Oh, wait, wonder if I went up to your kid and was like, that kid right there. I think you take a little offense to that. Scott said Evelyn could have died of sudden infant death syndrome, or that she could have died from co-sleeping with her mother. Then why didn't Evelyn say that? Scott said he couldn't pretend to know why Boswell didn't call 911. I would call 911, but I'm not 18 years old. An 18-year-old knows better. They know right from freaking wrong. They know if there is a baby or a child or anybody that is in help, they know when to call 911. That's just stupid, Mr. Defense Lawyer. He said Megan had Evelyn when she was in foster care and has a different life experience than himself. He asked the jury to put themselves in her shoes. Okay, I'm in her shoes. She absolutely lied to the police. She was 18-year-old, scared to death, talking to a TBI agent. I wouldn't lie. That'd be the last freaking thing I would do with a TBI agent. He said, asking the jury to find her innocent probably sounds disingenuous. Scott said police focused on his client from the beginning of the investigation and hinted other people may have been involved. He concluded his opening by thanking the jury for their service and apologized for being hard on jurors during the selection process. Jury escorted out of the courtroom. Just as the defense was beginning its opening statements, the judge abruptly dismissed the jury. A photographer took a picture with a flash in the courtroom. Bum, bum, bum. The judge told the photographer if it happened again, they'd be held in contempt and given 10 days in jail. The photographer apologized to the judge, and there was a brief recess. When the jury came back, the judge told him that he had to deal with a procedural matter. That's supposed to be matter. And opening statements got back underway. Prosecution's opening statements. Assistant District Attorney Amber Massengill presented opening statements. Boswell could be seen crying throughout I don't know how to pronounce her name, sorry. Massengill's statements. Massengill, is that how you say it? Let's see. Massengill, yeah. Gave the jury a rundown of Boswell's actions between December 6, 2019 and February 2020, when Evelyn's body was found. It is a tragedy when a child dies, but it is a preventable tragedy. Evelyn did not have to die. She said Boswell was trusted to take care of Evelyn, but she failed her in the worst way, or the worst possible way. 5 years later, we are asking you to give justice to Evelyn Boswell, Massengill said. The prosecution said Megan concocted many different stories depending on who she was talking to, and it took months to report the little girl missing. Megan's father, Tommy, eventually reported Evelyn missing after giving his daughter an ultimatum. I wonder if he regrets that, being a father. Like, that would be hard. That would be a hard decision to make, really it would. Like, that's your child, but that's your grandchild. Evelyn was always in the same place Evelyn was always in the same place, and Megan Boswell knew that. The prosecution said Evelyn was found in a kitchen trash bag stuffed. Okay, so trigger warning. The prosecution said Evelyn was found in a trash bag stuffed inside a trash can with other debris. She was wrapped in a blanket and had aluminum foil wrapped around her head. Why? Why aluminum foil around her head? Why? The 13-month-old was still wearing her purple. I thought she was 15 months. I think she was 15, wasn't she? Her purple onesie pajamas. The evidence only links one person to this crime. In the meantime, the prosecution said Megan got a new boyfriend around the time Evelyn was last seen. She was living her best life, and you will hear that. The prosecution said Megan was taking trips to Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge, all while her daughter is upside down decomposing in a trash can. In closing, Massengill told the jury she believes the jury will find Megan guilty on every count. She was gifted a beautiful child, she said. Megan Boswell already had her chance. It's Evelyn's chance now. Judge Goodwin gave the jury a rundown on the trial, or how the trial will go, from the presentment of the charging to closing arguments. He told the jurors it was their duty to listen carefully and to take notes if they need to rule to rule on this case. Jurors were told not to speak to attorneys, the media, or the defendant if they see any of them during breaks throughout the trial. They are not allowed to do their own research related to the case or do any outside reading about the case. When Judge Goodwin finished his outline of the trial, the presentment of all 20 charges against Boswell was read by Deputy District Attorney William Harper. The judge then asked Boswell's attorney how his client pled to the charges, and he replied, not guilty. So they had a little bit of stuff going on. Right. I thought about having my sister-in-law come on and see if she would. She had because she had her first child at 17. And if you didn't have your first child at 17, I don't have children. I can't say what it feels like, what you go through You know what I mean? Like being in school and being pregnant and all the things. But I don't know if anyone would be interested in it, but I could totally ask her. She'd probably come on and like talk about it. You know what I mean? Her daughter's, I mean, my sister-in-law's in her 40s now, you know. Yeah, she had her first when she was 17, her second when she was 19. They have 5 now. But like lots of babies. But I think it might have been a little easier for her too, because she came from such a big family. My sister-in-law came from a family of 11 brothers and sisters, and they all have like 5 kids each. So my mom would get to me before the jury did that. Yeah, me too. Me too. I know you always look back at the parents, and the parents are just as bad as the, you know. I know. I thought it was asphyxiation too. True crime alibis. I'm thinking that's what they think it is. Maybe her hyoid bone was broke, but they can't maybe say 100% for sure if it was because of that or because they threw it in. But the only reason why your hyoid bone breaks is when you've been choked. It's very hard to break that bone, although it's very sensitive. It's like one of the smallest bones in your body. We'll have to do a members only tomorrow and like talk about some stuff that's going on in Sebastian Rogers' case and in general. People are talking crap again, and I just like to, you know, vent every once in a while to you guys. So what is this? Oh, we got a docket update. It's like my whole page is full of all this crazy stuff. Oh, and we have to go over Ellen Greenberg because that's huge. It says, I was trying to see anything about Megan's trial. It says it's been 14 years about Ellen Greenberg. Wow. What's this? Okay, never mind. I thought about like taking a day and doing, like, I've seen Duchess do this, and I thought it was a really good idea. Like, and I don't think she would mind if, you know, we did it too. But like she takes a day out of the week. It's usually on Mondays. And she'll go through like missing persons flyers. And I think that's really, really cool that she does that, you know. They're like unknown people that, you know, people that aren't like well known in the news, you know, and they're missing. And she just goes through and like, I think she actually makes the flyer herself. Like she'll take the flyer and then she'll take their information off of it and then she'll make it into like a new flyer, like something that's just a little nicer, more attention grabbing. I don't know. I just thought that was pretty interesting and that she did that. So I thought maybe we could do that sometime. I was just, yeah. So, yeah. Oh, I was all the way up there. Hey, Janelle. Just Bree said, don't get me started on my mom. I'm surprised it turned out a good, loving person. Oh, I had a good, loving mom. I have to say that that woman was a saint on this earth. She was an angel. And people used to say my mom was an angel all the time. Like literally, she was that just just very respectful and sweet and modest, very modest. Just a good woman. You know what? My parents were poor when they had me. My mom said that she told my grandmother that she wanted to have a baby, and my grandmother was like, "Well, you guys don't have money. Like, you're poor." Pretty much, you know? And my mom was like, if I wait until I have enough money to have a kid, she's like, I'm never going to have a kid. Like, she already had my brother, but she's like, I'll never have another, another child. So they ended up having me. It worked out. I had everything I ever wanted. I mean, not like, I was spoiled, but I wasn't like overly spoiled. Like, my parents didn't buy my first car. Vincent's parents bought his first car. And I'm like, oh, you're so lucky. Like, my parents didn't do that. Oh my. Oh my gosh, Squeaky. Squeaky. You have great parents too. My dad was a little wild. I get that from him. Like, my attitude, I get it from him. I don't bring it out very often, but it's like Granny is watching, but times 10, times 100 sometimes. Mary Beth, thank you. I almost got a hot chocolate the other day when I went over to Target. I'm going to have to get me one now. Vincent wasn't with me. I was like, he's not with me to get a drink. I was like, maybe I'll get one by myself. I think I will next time I'm there. Oh, and I wanted to tell Reba about the macaroon pillow. Don't worry. I mean, send them and everything, but I got one. I ended up getting one. I saw one at the store and I was like, I'm not going to get it. And then Vincent was like, you didn't get it? And I was like, no, I didn't get it because I'm going to wait. I'm going to have 3 I'm like, I'm getting 3 of them. And so the next day I was over there and I ended up getting it. I was like, I'm just going to buy it. So now I have 4 macaroon pillows everywhere. Just till the end of Valentine's Day. I'll put a couple on my chair or something. So were my true crime lullabies. My parents were alcoholics. Yeah. My parents were too. And it got worse. My mom's got worse after my dad died. Like a lot worse. Like just kind of went downhill. And everyone was like, tell her no, tell her not to, tell her not. And I'm like, you're wanting me to do this? Like, she's 60 years old. She lost her husband. What the hell am I supposed to tell her? You can't have a drink? I mean, I would tell her to slow down, but I mean, I could tell her that all day. She's a grown-ass woman. I told my brother, I'm like, you're the man. You come over here. Hold her down. But you know that song, I can't think of it now. Whiskey Lullaby. That song reminds me of my parents. Like, to a T. To a T. It reminds me of my parents. I can't listen to that song. The other day we were flipping through the radio and it was on the radio and I was like, and I turned it off real quick. But look at you though. You did better. I did better. Your dad quit drinking. Oh, that's so great. Tell him that you told us that story. And tell him, like, seriously, from the bottom of my heart, congratulations. You're doing great. You're doing great. Like, I got my dad into a rehab. It took me, I was so young. I shouldn't have been doing this shit. I was like 21, 20. I shouldn't have been doing this. Not that young, but I got him into a rehab for alcohol. And he stayed a week. He was not having it. He ended up coming and living with me and he was sober, like didn't drink anything for the first few days. And then he asked if he could get like 1 beer. And then he wasn't drinking that much though when he passed away. It wasn't like he wasn't back to where he was, but he was still, drinking. I don't know, Scott. Maybe maybe the house had something to do with it, you know, it being a party house, and where he lived, it was kind of like run down and not so like college fun. You know, like when I look at 1122 King Road, I think of like, this looks like happy times. Like everyone's so beautiful and happy and fun, and they're just laughing and having a good time, and they're mingling and they're getting to know each other, and they're getting the whole college experience. And then you go to Brian's place in Pullman, and he lives in, you know, and we've seen the inside of the apartments. They're kind of they're pretty run down. They're older. They're not as like, it's not as bright. It's not, you know, where there's big windows where you can see through. And I don't know. I just think that had to do with it. A lot to do with it. Like, I think that somebody in the house was the target, but I think the house played a role in everything. Like, even if it was, he saw the victim that he wanted to unalive first and then saw the house, I think that it's still, he was attracted to that. So, and welcome in. True Crime Lullabies, that's awesome. Did he get darker? Because my dad, he broke 3 ribs and he had to go in the hospital, so he couldn't drink or smoke his cigarettes for 3 days. By the second day, he looked Indian. Like he had the prettiest brown, like olive skin color, the prettiest. And I'm like, that's like, I'm like, that's where I get my, like, because my mom is very pale, like not very pale, but she was very light complected, blue eyes, blonde hair. And I'm like, where's this darkness come from? Like, I'm not that dark, but you know, I've got like little olive to me. And then I found out it was my dad. I was like, look at you, all dark and stuff. But in the summertime, you get super dark anyway. You're raised on a ranch? I can see that squeaky wheel. I got 2 sisters worse than me. See, my dad, like, he got darker after he stopped drinking for those few days. It was so crazy. It was like pigment was coming back. I don't know. You said I had a big affection for you, Ladybug. Oh, I'm sorry. Just breathe. It always makes, yeah, it does. And it's amazing what the human brain and body can handle when it comes to trauma. You know, like we're good at being able to sometimes just store it away. Other times you can't store it away. You gotta, you know, talk about it. That's what we do here at the end of our lives usually. And on my second channel, we'll be talking about this stuff too. Mostly on my second channel, we'll be talking more like the traumas and all that kind of stuff over there. I'm going to try to do like more topics. Like when I get on there, you know, instead of just like, hey, what's going on? So that way we have something we can talk about. We'll have like a topic to talk about. I think that would be fun. I do want to, on Friday, what's today? Yeah, Friday, tomorrow I'm going to go to the store. I'm going to get some meat, and I think we're going to do like chili or something on Friday. I was going to do it today, and then I was just running all over the place, so I didn't get it done. But I really want some chili. You getting a new office chair, Mary Beth? That's awesome. I bet it's cute. I bet it's cute. We just got these chairs. They're like just black netted. Like a lot of people have these chairs, I feel like, on YouTube. I've seen them like in other creators. Vincent's got one because this is his desk. This is mine. Like we have the same exact desk and they're huge. I mean, they're big. I love chili too. I'm so excited to make it. I'm gonna make it in my crock pot that you got me. I was like, I'm gonna use my new crock pot. I can't wait. I bet it works better than my old one. My old one wasn't heating or something very good. Like it was heating like too high. And when I would have it on warm, it was getting like too hot. So I'm excited to use it. I'm so excited. Well, what are you girls doing? Are you ready to go? You ready to go lay down? My dog Mia is way too big, I feel like, for this bed. I got to get her a new bed. Her legs hanging off the back of it. I think I shrunk them when I washed them a little bit. And so she just looks so big. She's silly. But thanks for talking to me. We could do a chili cook-off. I'm going to bring you guys into the kitchen with me. Like, 'cause on my second channel, it's Unfiltered with Tanya. And it's more of like a life vlog. It's going to be more of like the unfiltered side of me. So I am going to edit a lot of my videos. We're going to start doing a lot more pre-recordeds and a lot more editing and a lot. It's just going to look more nice. Like, I'm trying to make it look nicer all the way around. So I can't wait to share some of that with you guys. But yeah, I was like, I'll just prop you guys up on the bar and I can just do my chili right there, making a chili and talk to you guys. Yeah, of course. Let me put my link in there for the other channel. I should have this like better to where I could just like copy and paste it. Let's see if I did it right. Yes, I did. I did. So yeah, it'll be fun. It's fun over there. We have fun. We just talk about whatever. We just hang out pretty much. We just hang out. Yeah, go over and subscribe. Thank you. Dreaming of Blues, guys. That's how I feel about my mom's pot roast. My chili does kind of taste like my mama's. It does. I think I do a pretty good job just because she doesn't do tomatoes. She didn't do diced tomatoes or anything in it because I didn't like that. I didn't like diced tomatoes. And so it's only like 3 or 4 ingredients in her chili. So it's easy to make. But True Crime Lullabies got me a cookbook because Vincent was like, we need a cookbook because he wants to start, I guess, cooking with me too. And I was like, we have one. I was like, I have the Betty Crocker one out in the shed. I said, and True Crime Lullabies wrote us some stuff down in hers and the ones she gave me. I was like, so we have one. So we're going to try to do some recipes. I'm going to, I think my first Japanese like meal, it's not really a meal. It's more of a soup, but I'm going to make him miso soup. It's super simple, he said. And it's something I can make and not ruin. So we're going to start small. We're going to start really small over here. But yes. My grandma made some really good food too. Good food, good hearty food. Well, thank you guys for being here tonight and talking to me for an extra hour. We just chit-chatted, I love doing that sometimes though with you guys. I mean, I love doing that with all the time with you guys, but sometimes we just do it for a longer period of time. But I do appreciate you guys being in the chat tonight. I appreciate you being here. I was going to say, I don't think anything else. I don't think I have anything else for you. I want to do a members only live tomorrow during the day. So actually, hold on. Scratch that. We will do a members live. It's going to be early though. Like 11 o'clock early. I have an appointment tomorrow to get it for extensions. I'm going to this like really cute salon. It's like so boho-ish. It's really cute. And I'm going to see about my hair. But I think I know why it's breaking off now. It's because of the iron deficiency. Because they put me on iron pills. So I think that might be why. But I want to get some extensions really, really bad. So I'm going to go get a consultation tomorrow to see about getting some because your girl misses her long hair. I miss it. 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 So, if it's not too expensive and it'll make me, a little happier with like my self-esteem, then I'm all about that. I am because after you're in a car accident, it takes a while for you to get your self-esteem back. So when you do get it back, you don't ever let anyone take it away from you. So, but thank you guys for being here tonight. I appreciate you so much. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. I'll make the members live. I'll probably make it tonight, just here in a minute, and we'll see each other in the morning. Have a wonderful night. Bye, guys.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know